Welcome to Music Motors and welcome to the Abarth 695 Rivale. The first thing I need to say is a lot of UK owners say Abarth or Abarth. You know, correct in the English language, but brand's pronounced Abarth. There's that elephant in the room covered. So this is 695 Rivale. The 695 Rivale is a special edition. I mean, Abarth have a load of different models, 595, 695, 124 Spider, 124 GT, and they're all amazing. And in between each of the 595s, for instance, you've got Turismo, Trofeo, Competizione. There's lots of different specs you can get. The 695 is a special edition. This Rivale is a very special edition. There's only 350 of them ever produced. 175 hard tops and 175 cabriolets. It produces 180 brake horsepower, 250 newton meters of torque, gets to 62 miles an hour in 6.7 seconds. It's powered by a 1.4 litre 4-pot petrol engine, and because it weighs just over a tonne, it means it's 180 brake horsepower-ish per tonne. Gig test part 1, and it's freezing cold right now. So gig test part 1 is putting the equipment in. Now, if this was a conventional 695, isn't not conventional, this was a normal hatch, it wasn't a cabriolet. The rear door's more than big enough to get everything in, but as a cabriolet the rear hatch is very small, so this is going to be entertaining. Now, being that special edition on the outside, you get a special look too. Although you can get two-tone paint colours, you can't get the Riva blue and grey that you can get on the Rivale. Now, it's called Riva blue and grey because, well, this Rivale is made in collaboration with Riva, the yacht makers. It's to celebrate historical significance. So what this is a very special edition. And on the outside, the cues are obvious. 17-inch alloy wheels, this amazing two-tone paint colour, huge rear diffuser, Akrapovic exhaust, and it just looks special. Now, Abarth 500s, 595s, 695s, they're all based on that 500 shape, but do not get them confused with a Fiat 500 because it is totally different. You can't even mention the two together because they are so significantly different. But the shape, the outside design is of a 500, but the engineering is totally different. Outside, this is significantly lower, the wheels are significantly bigger, it's significantly louder, and you can drive this much harder than you would do any standard kind of car. This is a performance car. It looks like one, it sounds like one, and it drives like one. From the outside, you know it's something special, and when you step inside, it continues. Gig test part 2, driving to the gig. So I don't have that many miles to do, probably an hour 20 journey total. But how does this cope on the motorway being sat, and what fuel economy do I get? Am I enjoying the drive, or am I wanting to kill myself? Find out at the other end. The result, and quite dark now considering it's about 4 o'clock, 41.2 miles per gallon. So when you take it into consideration that this is a proper performance car, I've got weight in the back and I was driving at 70 miles an hour, it means that if you don't drive at 70, you don't have weight in it. I also think these tyres aren't the most fuel efficient tyres. You could be quite easily seeing 45 to 47 in R1. We do, and I think with the remap quite easily in this you would as well. Inside it is something which is really refined and luxurious. Leather blue seats, carbon fibre everywhere, a really engaging driving feel. However, the seating position, until you're used to it, is a little bit high. Now, within reason, visibility is also very good. It's not so good in the cabriolet because you've got this tiny rear window, but if you do get the normal hatch, then you have a bit more visibility, although it does have quite big pillars back there. Continuing inside, the passenger comfort is really good. Your rear passengers don't have bundles of room, but they have enough, and the boot can take all of your daily essentials within reason. However, if you want to take something a bit bigger, don't get the cabriolet because the hatch is really small to get everything in. That's when you'd probably need to go for something like the normal one. And really, I'd love it if they made a 500X Abarth, but apparently that's been canned. Being a special edition, this also has the HiFi by Beats. Now this is a very punchy and clear hi-fi system. This is something which is one of the better premium upgrade systems that you can get, but well, you call it an upgrade, it's standard in the Rivale. Finishing off on the inside, I just need to note just the attention to detail that there is on the inside. I mean, even down here, there's a plaque and it's made out of the same materials that Rivale would use on their yachts. It's just real fine attention to detail. With a 695, you get a bigger touchscreen display here. If you go for something like a standard 595, you don't get that. And obviously, with a bit more noise because of the Akrapovic exhaust, which is also standard on a 695. It's raining, it's pouring, and it might as well really be the summer in the UK because it's pretty much what it's like. Time to do a city economy test now. This isn't going to be a central city economy test, it's going to be back roads city. This is going to be one of those, if you live in a little town outside of a city, what could you be seeing when you're commuting to work? So really it's a best case scenario. Worst case scenario with this really is just under 30 miles per gallon. Within reason, if you're sat in central London at standstill, it will take longer, but what will it get in a best case scenario on 30-40 mile an hour roads? 42.3 miles per gallon, so that's a round town city test. It's a good case scenario because realistically there wasn't a lot of traffic. However, if there was traffic, you'd be seeing that more in the around 29 to 32 range. This is a best case scenario. It's comfortable, it's easy to drive around town, and visibility is good. The lock could be better for a city car, but if you wanted a lock, then you go for a Fiat 500. Performance-wise, this drives like nothing you can't compare it to anything. Because while this goes up against things like a Fiesta ST, a Fiesta ST almost feels numb in comparison. This is a really raw and to the point driving car, but in such a good way. It's got Brembos up front which stop you really fast when you need them to, and they perform really well without any fade, and the pedal feels great. The steering's very direct and solid. Put it in sport mode and you get a bit extra weight. The only time that you'll struggle with this is under heavy braking in corners, because obviously this doesn't weigh a lot. All the weight's at the front, and when you're braking, even more of the weight goes to the front, so the back end gets a little bit loose. But then that's all in the fun. The performance of this is just amazing. 180 brake horsepower, 250 newton meters of torque, 6.7 to 62, and this will just keep pulling on the motorway. Economy-wise, Abarth makes some bold claims. Over 57 miles per gallon on a run. Now, it's not to say you can't get it, but you're unlikely to, because you'll feel yourself accelerating and having fun in this. But you could very viably get 48 to 49 easily while having fun. If you can resist putting your foot down, then you're likely to see 52. Around town, anywhere between like 32 to 35. I average around 31, but I've got a heavy right foot. So to summarise, this is a really beautiful car, which looks great in the city, which turns around good fuel economy in the city, which sits comfortably on the motorway and is relatively frugal while doing so. It's the type of car that you can park anywhere within reason, because it's small, it fits in everywhere. You have a good amount of boot space and you have a very good amount of interior cabin space. The sound system is superb, the interior is comfortable, it's a warm and comfortable car to drive, and then the performance is just mind-melting at times. It's brilliant fun to just put your foot down and go. It's a car which costs £25,000, but when you put it up to the competition, they don't come near. This is really my hot hatch of the year. The Fiesta ST is brilliant, but it's too refined. They've kind of taken the soul out of it for me. While it is a brilliant and balanced car, this is a raw and savage driving feel, which I really appreciate. And then to know there's only 350 of these in the entire world, good odds to me.